to another episode of Your Success DNA, doing those daily needed actions, getting those daily needed attitude adjustments from yoursuccess@Last.com. Yeah, it's me once again, Sergeant Major Motivation, Tracy Ace Brinkman, bringing you some motivational building blocks and giving you that motivational oomph, that kick in the rump that we all need on a daily basis. Goodness gracious. We don't need it every single day, but every once in a while, it's just those days where you're going, good God, somebody help me. And that's what we're going to try and do. That's what we try and do every single day around these here parts. So how's your week going? You're rocking it, killing it. I'm having a pretty good week. I'm hoping that you're seeing some of the beautiful weather that we're starting to see around here. We actually made it almost into the 60s yesterday. And today is a nice, beautiful, low 50s kind of day. And for Wisconsin, the past couple of months, that is a welcome relief. I told my girlfriend, Diane, you hear me talk about her quite a bit. You'll hear me talk about her for as long as you hang around. How about that? The other day, as I stepped out, it was Monday morning, I stepped out of the house here, and I was thinking to myself, my goodness, it is nice to feel this warm weather. And I looked at the temperature gauge, and it was 30 degrees. So you've become accustomed to Wisconsin weather when you say, boy, I'm glad the warm weather's finally here, and it's only 30 degrees. Anyway, enough about me. How are things going? I keep asking, and I keep hearing responses in my head. I hear responses from the folks that do email me and keep me apprised on how things are going and what they do I gain from this show. And here's one of the cool things about this particular show is listen every day. And of course, I'm going to tell you that because I first off, I want you to listen. I want to have a good listenership. But really, it's more about you might hear something today that you can't utilize immediately. But a week from now, a day from now, a month from now, something will happen or something will be happening, and your mind will flash back to a show that you heard, be it mine or someone else's, and it'll click just like that. And it'll grab you, and you'll remember one or two little tidbits, one or two little tips or techniques, and if you implement them or remember them right away and flow them right in to whatever's happening in your world, you'll definitely see the positive impact. So things like shows like this, whether it be mine or anyone else's, don't always give you what you're looking for every single time you listen to it. You'll hear that, yeah, I agree with that. He's right. There is a benefit to Power of Laughter, and there's a benefit of having a great attitude. The last 3 shows, we just got finished doing the 3-part series on I Can, your I Can't attitude and your I Can attitude. And if you're a new listener today, please feel free to go back to yoursuccess@Last.com and listen to those 3 shows. It was a 3-part series on positive attitude. And if you're listening on iTunes, they'll be there, so you can grab those and listen to those. But it's not that you're going to hear something that's going to make you go, oh, right on every single day. It's the cumulative effect. It's like painting a room with a new color of paint, and each layer of paint makes it a little bit better. And if you have primer, that's even better. Primer is some of the big programs that we do inside the paid section of the membership. And we'll talk more about that next week. I have some big news coming up. All right, enough about that. Let's get to today's question. Today's question on Thursdays always asks, what do you really want? What you want? And I like this question for 2 reasons. Reason number 1 is so many times people are willing and able to tell you what they don't want. I don't want to lose my job. I don't want to be married to this person. I don't want my kids to be jerks. I don't want this. I don't want that. I don't want more snow. They tell you all the things they don't want. But when you ask them what they do want, a lot of times you'll get these vague, nebulous answers. And folks like yourself and me, vague doesn't always get you what you want. Actually, vague almost never gets what you want. You're going to need some more details and at least at the beginning parts of an action plan so you can start taking action. So ask yourself sometime today, what do you really want? All right? And maybe write it down in your journal. I'm going to keep pushing journals. Journals are big. And then, write down if you want it to be a beautiful day, well, you can't change the weather, but how can you make your day beautiful? There you go. So it's a different perspective on the same want. If you want to have a better job, what is it you need to do to get that better job? And that better job could be in your current organization or an entirely new one. What's the first step that you need to do to get a better job? Because it's one thing to want another job. It's another thing to start going after it. All right? So what do you really want? Think about that today. One of the things I want is really to be in a good mood most of the time. And I definitely am able to pull that off quite a bit. And a lot of that comes from laughter. And that's what I want to talk about today is the power of laughter. So when was the last time you had a good, hearty, no holds barred, belly jiggling laugh? When was it? Today? Yesterday? Last week? Last month? You'd be surprised how many people will say, oh God, I haven't had a good heavy laugh since Thanksgiving or since Christmas when I seen so-and-so slip on the ice and fall on their bum. Okay? So what spurred that heavy laugh when the last time you did have it was? Think about that. And then try to remember exactly how it felt. Because do you remember how it felt to get that laugh going? Oh man, that rush. Right? And maybe you were laughing so hard there were tears rolling down your eyes and you got to that point where you could not stop laughing, right? Can you feel the smile stretching across your face right now? That is a small inkling of the power of laughter. You see, laughter is one of the best emotional and physical therapies for anyone who has a little bit of stress, maybe even a lot of stress, because laughter, it literally releases endorphins into the brain. And for those of you who don't know, and most of you probably do know, endorphins are like this nerve-numbing or nerve-enhancing morphine, right? They serve to reduce the harmful chemicals in your body that are literally released when we are undergoing stress. So it's almost like the cure for stress, or it's at least an antidote for it until you're able to handle whatever it is that's stressing you. And we talked about a lot about stress last week. And for the new guys on the show, I really urge you, look back at the past week or two of episodes. There's been some good content. And I'm not just saying that because, I delivered it. Of course, I'm proud of that fact. But certainly some of the feedback I've been getting has been very positive. So I urge you to go listen to it. So, as many of you know, firsthand, actually, the best way to increase the comfort when you're going through a negative situation or kind of a downtrodden, you're just kind of feeling icky, right, is to break the ice with a little bit of laughter, right? You're in that little situation, the room's gotten quiet, and you can toss in that little cool joke, and everyone giggles, and it kind of breaks the ice and relieves that tension, right? See, when everyone's thinking the worst or feeling anxious in a situation, laughter can really wedge in there and dissipate the tension enough to give everyone a more manageable perspective on the issue and whatever the issue may be. Now, let's be careful here. I don't want you to be tossing jokes in during serious issues, okay? Serious issues deserve a more focused approach. But whenever laughter can be introduced, the resulting release in tension it's a tremendous opportunity to lift that gray cloud and push away the gloom and doom and really clarify your mind. You can think far more effectively about the solutions after you've had a bit of a giggle or at least relieved some of that tension. All right? We'll talk about laughter in a few different areas during the course of the rest of this episode. So let's start with your physical health. When we think about caring for our health, the first thing you go to is your diet and exercise, right? What am I eating, and how often am I giving my body the movement and the tension in my muscles and the weight training or whatever it is, right? So we go to the quality of our diet and whether or not we exercise, and if we do exercise, how much. But those really aren't the only things that are good for you. Literally the act of laughing causes beneficial physical changes in your body. In addition, like I've mentioned before, it relieves stress, right? It gives you a renewed boost of energy, right? And it relieves minor pains, all from that chemical reaction. Releasing stress, really also immediately puts you in a bit of a better mood and improves your attitude, so you're really better prepped to tackle those tough situations or to handle whatever it is that's stressing you out. Over the course of my life, over the course of these shows, a number of you have heard the stories of my daughter Krista, who passed away at the early age of 16 months old, and she spent probably 95% of her time in the hospital. And one of the parents I met had a teenage daughter who was going through cancer treatment. And of course, being outgoing and just we had something in common, I was talking to the little girl, and she told me that when they were in the hospital for days, even weeks at a time, the best way that they found to relieve their stress and tension maybe in that stressful situation was to watch a funny or even a stupid movie on television, or back then on VHS, and really to the point where they laughed until they cried. See, their laughter literally helped them forget, even for a minute, where they were. It joined them together, and it gave them something that they could share that was positive. It relaxed their bodies enough so they could really just kind of chill and be a little closer to each other for a few hours. So, I'm going to knock it, because certainly the cancer drugs were what helped the little girl back to health. But the laughter itself acted as a natural medicine to help soothe the stress of that situation that they were both going through. And they were going through it from different perspectives, and it helped them both. See, laughter relaxes the whole body. It can relieve stress and relax your body and your muscles for, I read, it was about up to an hour, all right? Laughter boosts your immune system. Believe it or not, it really can. It can increase the immunity that you have to fight off disease. Laughter signals the release of endorphins. I mentioned that earlier. That's a natural chemical that kind of helps you feel good. You get these same kind of endorphin rushes when you go to these motivational seminars, right? And they're known for relieving minor pain temporarily, but it's a natural endorphin release. And then, of course, laughter increases your blood circulation. So giving a hearty laugh on a regular basis helps improve the blood flow through your body. And, of course, that's a part of your heart function. So laughter really has some physical benefits. Mental benefits are the next thing. Have you ever been walking through the mall or anywhere, it could just be the office, and a complete stranger gave you a smile, right? And you felt the sincerity of that. And you looked up, and literally your mood raised up a little bit, and your self-esteem raised up a little bit, right? Just from a smile. Well, the same thing is really true about laughter. In a difficult situation, a sense of humor can raise up your happiness, can raise up your self-esteem, and help you keep a positive outlook. Laughing can also help you clear your head so you can find a solution to whatever it is that's stressing you out, any problems or challenges that you're facing. When faced with the loss of a loved one, and trust me, I faced this one recently. Many of you know my brother Robbie passed away just last September. You can reflect on those joyful moments in life. We all get sad. They're gone. We're going to miss them. But if you try to remember the funny faces they could make, all the times they made you laugh, all the funny anecdotes about your loved one, the jokes they told, their silly little quirks, the little things that made them them, that's going to make you smile. That's going to make you feel good. That's going to make you even laugh at times if you can pause and just remember a time with Robbie, when he just made me laugh my behind off. Doing this helps relieve literally some of the grief and despair. See, so in that respect, laughter can relieve sadness or distressing emotions. You can't really feel anxious, angry, and sad when you're in the midst of a big guffaw. If you're laughing your behind off, like I was mentioning earlier, to the point where you got tears streaming down your eyes, next time you're doing that, try to feel upset. Try to feel mad or sad. You can't do it, all right? Laughter relaxes your mind and recharges your energy. A good laugh reduces the stress, and I keep saying this because it's huge, gives you that little pump of energy and helps you stay focused to the task on hand. So it's kind of good to give a little giggle with your workmates because it helps you get that little energy boost, better than a can of your favorite energy drink, and helps you get refocused on your task. And literally, laughter can help you improve your problem-solving skills because as you pull away and relieve that stress, it helps you see your problem from another perspective and thus allowing you to strategize or come at the problem in a different way. Okay? Got a few more here. Oh, hope you're hanging in there with me. Are you laughing? You giggling? No? Okay. Laughter, when it comes to relationships, I really think laughter has a way of joining friends. It has a way of making friends. It has a way of joining family members together. Take a moment, if you think about it, think about your closest relationships. What were some of the most memorable moments together? I'm willing to bet a number of those moments, or some of the key moments, involved giggling and laughing, maybe giggling at a prank, or laughing at a witty joke, or laughing at something you guys just did that was just completely idiotic, and you looked at each other like, wow, we are dumb. And you laughed your butts off. It was deep, and it was honest, it was sincere. See, sharing laughter adds joyfulness to any relationship. When you share funny stories, funny memories, or jokes together, you intuitively you really kind of dissipate any difficult times, or you help get through those stressful situations. You just invite each other in, right? Here, think about... Here's one of my favorites. I think about when my youngest, Shandy, was little. She didn't do this very often. I remember one time she was standing in front. She had her arms folded. What was she, about 4 or 5 at the time? She was standing in front of me, had her arms crossed, her little pouty lips. And I can almost picture the stomping feet, but I don't think she actually did. But maybe your child did. That little foot stomp and disagreement, and that little lip is quivering because they're about to cry. And what's a fast acting parent going to do? All right, the wise fast acting parent maybe doing something like tickle the child, right, or tell a silly joke, or make a silly face, right. But if you do that before the waterworks start, you're going to get that little giggle out of them. And most times, that quivering lip of theirs is going to turn into a reluctant smile. And then that now smiling little girl is going to pretend to be mad after already having had their mood changed. It's the same thing. Many adults can have their mood changed in the same way and just as quickly. However, I wouldn't advise on the tickling unless you're really close to the person, right? Just by invoking a good joke or some quality humor into the situation, all right? So with that, I think with relationships, you need to learn to be carefree and spontaneous and just laugh at life in general, because everything in life is great when you're laughing. Find the silliest things around you and giggle about that. You know what? Look at yourself and say, wow, aren't I a bonehead sometimes? And laugh at yourself, okay? So with that, you're going to have to let go of the judgments, let go of the doubts, and let go of the criticisms. Laughing can put you in a far more positive frame of mind, which will then allow you to see the good in everything. Releasing the resentment is another benefit of being able to laugh at yourself. The fears or the resentment that cause you to hold back are replaced with love and respect. Okay? And it allows you to really show your true feelings. I mean, it's much easier to approach difficult situations and difficult conversations when both parties are expressing their true feelings in a respectful manner and are in a good mood, right? Talked a little about laughter at work. I think there's a couple more benefits here. I got more notes, but man, I'm already running 20 minutes into it. I read that laughter when you're with your coworkers results, especially if it's helping, if it's done on a regular basis, it results in fewer sick days and increased sales and productivity in an overall healthier work environment. And especially when that workload is heavy or the challenges are huge because of cutbacks, layoffs, and restructuring. And we all have been through those, right? Laughter at those times, beneficial, hugely beneficial. I actually went through a time when I had an 8-man team, and I was the director of inventory planning. And we had some cutbacks. This was right around the time that the economy began its wonderful swing in the wrong direction. And so we had 2 hires that we were looking for, and they were getting ready to do some head cuts. And I offered up those 2 positions to allow other people to keep their jobs at the organization. And so at that point, I'm now down 2 people, and then 3 more people decided to move on to greater things, travel down their own road, which is fine. So now I've gone from 8 to 3, same workload. Right? Actually, the workload was getting heavier. So you can imagine the remaining 3 of us, the remaining 4 of us, if you include myself, had heavier workloads and more complex challenges. And so you can be assured there was many a laugh going on my team to help keep us motivated, to help keep us open to each other, to help keep the relationships positive, and help keep ourselves productive. Certainly, the same benefits are going to be at home. Sharing laughter at home is a great way to have something in common with someone you care about. I mean, you don't want to get all jacked up on the silly little tensions in life. I mean, okay, yeah, your child breaks a vase. Here's the next thing. Maybe your child was showing you this new dance step or this new cheer move, and they bump into something and a vase breaks. Well, joke about it, giggle about it. I'm sure they didn't do it intentionally. Don't get all bent out of shape. Use that laughter to diffuse the tension. I imagine they're just as scared as you are, maybe a little upset at the vase being broken. There could be those awkward situations. Perhaps your spouse or your boyfriend or girlfriend brings a beautiful gift over for your birthday. Oh, wow, how sweet is that? But it's not your birthday. Awkward. Use a little humor to, let them down easy, right? Oh, you got the date wrong. The situations are numerous. Really, just don't get jacked up in the petty grievances of broken objects or mispronounced names. When the tension builds because of these issues, nothing is going to dissipate that tension faster than a good laugh. All right? All right, so I've burned through. I've got more notes here. I guess I didn't think it was going to take me this long to explain the notes I had. I guess at the end of the day, a good old-fashioned chuckle is about as easy and cost-free a way to relieve tension as anything. Actually, it's probably a far more cost-effective way to relieve tension than, medication, stuff. We all have all kinds of stuff, and we still seem to be in bad moods far too often. Laughter can help make difficult family, work, public situations far more bearable. If you're able to use laughter to break the ice, okay, then use it. But be careful of comfort levels and don't force it, and watch out for jokes that may offend. I just have to toss that out there. I'm sure folks that like you, my listeners, aren't going to go out there and start saying things that are going to, offend a group of people or a specific person. But, 1 or 2 things in a big laugh, there you go. Don't be adamant about it, but creating a big laugh is what it's all about. And probably one last thing before you roll out. If you have some relationship issues going on at home and you need to have, a serious chat, perhaps something to make everyone giggle, to help set the mood, to help lighten the mood before attempting to talk about more serious issues. If you got to deliver some bad news, a little guffaw to kind of lighten the mood, and then move into the more serious conversations. You'll have to gauge that yourself. Different relationships and different people warrant different communication styles. Laughter won't make your problems disappear. Let's get this straight, okay? Nothing is going to make your problems disappear except taking good, focused action. So laughter won't make your problems disappear, but it can soften the mood, and it can lead to far more open communication. So get into the habit of laughing often. Heck, laugh all the time as far as I'm concerned. Use some of the ideas in here. Go out and search Google for other tips. Use ideas you probably have. Use ideas of those folks around you that make you giggle all the time. And soon you'll find you'll be you'll be enjoying life in far more ways than you ever thought possible. All right, that's the power of laughter. Tomorrow I want to talk about, are you giving away your power? And I'm not talking about the power of laughter. All right, I'm going to leave you as I always do. Think successfully and take action. I'll talk to you later. Go ahead, laugh. Talk to you later. Bye.